Hi, everyone. We're so glad to have you here at the second iteration of DA Hacks, and we're so glad that you decided to spend your beautiful weekend time with us and code away some amazing things. So welcome. And before we get into the more details of what we're actually trying to achieve the next 2 days, I want to take some time to introduce all of us. I'm Jenny, and I'm the Secretary of Developers Guild. And Maxime and Jesse, do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'm Maxime. I'm the president of Developers Guild. Very excited to be here with you guys today.
And I'm Jesse. I'm the treasurer of Developers Guild, and I'm also the president of Competitive Programming Club. So also glad to be with you all today.
Yeah, and Cassie.
Hi, I'm the co-president of the Women in Computer Science Club at De Anza. And yeah, I'm excited to do this. I just did my first two open source contributions last night. Hopefully they get accepted, but yeah, this is going to be fun.
Okay, so we are going to introduce our clubs just a little bit before we go on to the details. So Cassie, next slide, please. And so our club, or the part that Maxime, I, and Jesse were part of Developers Guild, and our club focuses on an hands-on approach to computer science. So we do a lot of projects, we collaborate on a lot of these projects. We usually have 1 to 2 people leading these projects and really just helping everyone come together and just provide an amazing learning and just a collaborative experience. So if you want to join our club, obviously details will be in the chat below and we can go from there. And Cassie, do you want to introduce your club?
All right, thank you, Janani. So the Women in Computer Science Club is basically just an all-inclusive club. Everyone is welcome to join. We host speaker events, interview prep. We work with Girls Who Code, and then we also share volunteer opportunities in the community. And yeah, so lots of opportunities, and please let me know if you want to join.
And then for the final club, which is the one in the middle, I'm representing the Competitive Programming Club. So what our club is we represent De Anza College and we compete in local and international programming competitions. And this includes the ACM ICPC, which is the Intercollegiate Programming Contest, the NAIPC, which is like an invitational contest. And also we've done some local contests with other universities in the past. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out our club. Our main purpose is to familiarize members with competitive programming and working as a team to solve difficult problems and also learning algorithms. So yeah, check us out. Oh, and Peter is actually another officer of our club. So he just sent the Discord to our club.
Okay, next slide, please. So before we get started, we wanted to, for those of you guys that don't know what Hacktoberfest, here is a little video that's explaining what Hacktoberfest really is from the people who are holding it this year, DigitalOcean. So Cassie, could you play the video, please?
Welcome to Hacktoberfest. At DigitalOcean, we believe the community is bigger than just us, which is why we celebrate the open source community throughout the month of October. We started Hacktoberfest in 2013, and that first year we had nearly 700 participants. And over the years, Hacktoberfest has grown to a community of over 150,000 participants in 135 countries who participate by sharing their projects, making pull requests, attending events, donating, and showing their support of open source. We welcome everyone of all backgrounds and levels of technical experience, especially those who are new to open source. Thank you to everyone participating in Hacktoberfest this year, especially the maintainers of open source projects. It's because of you that Hacktoberfest has been a success in bringing so many people into the open source software community over the many years. We can't wait to see what this year's contributors do. And happy hacking.
All right, so that was a little bit about what Hacktoberfest is. And now we just want to, it's maybe a little bit confusing. What is like DA Hack 2021, right? And basically, if we go to the next slide, pretty much it's pretty much Hacktoberfest has kind of events. And so DA Hack is, I guess it's been an event this whole week because we started off this past Sunday with a talk. And then again, we have a competition, which Jesse will talk about in a minute, happening today and tomorrow as well. But pretty much, you know, we have lots of talks and events for you guys, as you can see in the event schedule channel in the DA Hack Discord. So you guys can check that out for all the juicy details. Also, it's on the website. But pretty much, yeah. So aside from the talks, there's also like, you know, the whole of Hacktoberfest event is about contributing to open source. And if you didn't attend Arimon's session on this past Sunday, then you can, I mean, we'll have lots of resources for you, but also tomorrow we'll be having a talk that'll pretty much give us a kind of a demo of how to find a project, work on it, make a pull request so that you can start contributing to Hacktoberfest. And then, yeah, I'll leave the coding thing for the next slide.
Okay, so as some of you might already know, we're hosting a coding competition in collaboration with Competitive Programming Club. So originally it consisted of 2 rounds, which was one qualifying round and then a competitive round. But we've actually been getting a lot of late registrations. So as a team, we decided that we're going to have a second qualifying round that'll open later today. So the first round will close at 12 p.m. today, and then we'll have a second qualifying round that opens afterwards. And if you signed up on our Google form for the competition, then you should be one of the notifiers. So next thing is the prizes for the competitive round will be, for first place, it's either a t-shirt or a $40 gift card of your choice. Second place will be a $20 gift card of your choice, and third place will be a $10 gift card of your choice. And after the competition, we'll get in contact with the winners through email, and we'll get all that figured out. So
wait, what is the coding race? Can you maybe tell some of our members just a little intro of what it is and how we participate?
Yeah, so the coding race is basically it's a coding competition. So there's like a set of problems that you're going to be asked to solve, and let's see. Yeah, so we're hosting it through a online coding judge called Caddis. Many of you might have already seen it if you're a part of our club, Competitive Programming Club, but that's how we're hosting it. And if we can go to the next slide, there's some more info about it. Okay, so the second qualifying round. So let me just read it. So the round was created as a result of the high volume of late registrations to the first round. And this round is intended for late registers and participants who cannot reach 3 accepted submissions in round 1. So 2 problems we were having were that there were a lot of people who were registering after the deadline. And we also felt like maybe the problems were a bit too hard. So we're going to tone down the difficulty a little bit for the second round. But if either of those apply to you, then you can expect an email today from Competitive Programming Club, and we'll get you registered for the competition. So a minimum of 3 accepted submissions are required in the second round to advance to the competitive round. So that's not including the first round. So if you're competing in the first round and you got like maybe 1 submission in or 2, then you still need to get 3 accepted submissions in this round to advance to the next round. On the other hand, if you've already made 3 accepted submissions in the first round, and we have about like 5 people so far who have 3 accepted submissions, then you'll automatically be advanced to the competitive round on Sunday, and you can ignore the second round, unless you want to do it for fun, of course. And if you want more information about the competition itself, you can check the announcements in our DA Hack channel, and I sent an announcement a few days ago with more information about it, and also a form to sign up if you haven't already.
Next slide, please. Okay, so here is roughly going to be the schedule. So we are having our open session now, but we're expecting it to end a little earlier, so around 9:30. And next we'll be holding a talk by Azin Davutzada, and we'll also be having Indra speak as well as Tal and a lot of the other speakers that are for today. So if you want to know more information about the speakers and the schedules, it's obviously on the event schedule channel. So go check it out there. Please.
And here's some speakers in case you want to have some faces.
So Cassie, next slide.
Yeah, well, I actually wanted to take some time to.
Oh, you go ahead. I think my Wi-Fi.
Sorry. So I just wanted to take some time to really appreciate all of the speakers because, you know, I'm not sure if anybody has ever been like a speaker for something or a presenter for something, but it's really a lot of work. You know, you have to do the PowerPoint slides and figure out what you're going to say. And so, you know, all of these people have, you know, they have jobs and they're taking their time out on the weekend to really talk about open source. And I think that that's really kind of like at the heart of Hacktoberfest is like kind of volunteering your skills and your services and kind of whatever you can do to contribute to projects that, you know, can really benefit everyone else. So I really want to thank these speakers and, you know, I know most of them aren't here right now, but just so all of our members know.
Okay, so I'll be talking a little bit about what open source is. So for those of you guys that don't know already, open source is a software that's written by the community and it's accessible to everyone. And usually the best or usually how you would contribute to open source is through a platform called GitHub. And for if you guys have not attended the Speak by Armand last week, which was a really good introduction to Git, we will be posting resources about how you can, you know, learn about Git, create an account and whatnot. So do not be afraid if you don't know what Git is. We can definitely through the resources that we post, you can definitely learn what it is. And yeah, that is just a little blurb about open source. So next slide, please.
All right. So, so each person who is contributing in Hacktoberfest will have to contribute 4 pull requests. And these pull requests actually have to be approved by the maintainers. So, so just because you've made the pull request doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be counted. What happens is you actually have to create an account on GitHub, and then you have to register for the Hacktoberfest event with your GitHub account. And then you can, so it's actually not on this slide, but I'll send it in the chat. There's I highly, highly, highly recommend this site called Good First Issue. It's an absolutely great place to start. You can sort by the language that you know or that you want to contribute in, and then you can sort by by the tags. And sorting by Hacktoberfest will give you all of the ones that will be tracked by Hacktoberfest. And basically, once you make that contribution, you make that pull request, it'll update on your Hacktoberfest like registered account, and it will track the status of those as the maintainers either approve them or disapprove them. And I think that's it. So yeah, I'm going to put that in the chat right now. Okay. Yeah, so pull requests can be made by any participating GitHub or GitLab repository. Look for the Hacktoberfest topic. We already discussed that. You can still sign up now. And the pull requests have to be made by you. Maintainer reports have to be, yeah, they have to be approved. Yeah, that's pretty much all that I said. Okay.
Yeah, this is what Cassie was kind of starting to mention, but pretty much as far as picking a project, you know, there's lots of resources. These are all in the, I believe, Getting Started channel. And this includes the Getting Good First Issues. So pretty much after you've learned a little bit about how like Git works and what a pull request is, which by the way, for those who may not know, pull request is just like it's a term for like an idea, but pretty much is how you contribute. So you can think of a pull request like one contribution. So yeah, so you can choose a project just like what Cassie was just saying, and then make a pull request, and yeah, that's how you contribute. And these are just good resources. These are all in the resources channel or Getting Started channel. So that's fine.
Before we move on, I have one more note on that. As you are making contributions, it's going to be very helpful to create a new branch if you're contributing to the same project. For each new contribution, each new request, you're going to want to make a branch. So if you're making a branch like, oh, this is going to be like this is going to be my one branch for all of my contributions, that's not how that works. So you'll have to make two, but you'll probably learn that later on this weekend.
So yeah, I guess I could do a little bit of a demo of how that may look like. I don't know if we can do that, I think, because there's nothing much left in the slide, right? Okay, sure. So I'll just show you guys what we're kind of talking about here. So pretty much, yeah, let me share my screen here. All right. So this is Good First Issues, the thing that Cassie was just talking about. And pretty much you can see here, you can select whatever language, programming language, of course. So we can say like maybe Python. And then for issues, make sure to like say Hacktoberfest, because like it's not just any issues, it's those that kind of have the Hacktoberfest label. Otherwise, they won't be counted. So that's one of like the prerequisites, I guess, for the Hacktoberfest. And then you can also have some other filters here, but pretty much you just go through here and you look, you try to find something that's interesting. And you know, you can say like implement programming pattern. So you can like click here, go to issue. Then you take a look at it, read it, maybe like, okay, I think I could do this. And then you know, but sometimes you're like, maybe somebody already doing it, or, you know, it's like maybe a little difficult. So then you can go back to Good First Issues, keep searching, right? And then maybe one time you'll find one. And so, for example, yesterday I found one here. It says, add your solution to competitive programming problem, Good First Issue. Then you can just say here, I'd like to add, this is what I said, I'd like to add a LeetCode problem, because that's what this repository is about, right? And then this is the like owner of the repository. He's like, sure, go ahead. Or they're like, I don't know who it is, but and I'm like, okay, so then what do we do now? So now what we can do is, this is the repository, right? And so what the first thing you want to do is, if you haven't already, you need to install some type of like Git client. So like GitHub Desktop is a good one, or you know, SourceTree, others. There's resources for that. But pretty much once you get GitHub Desktop, then GitHub Desktop particularly is nice, because you'll see that it kind of works well with GitHub. So you don't have to do much. You just have to say open with GitHub Desktop. Oh no, sorry. Okay, not yet. Sorry. First, you need to actually make a fork, because this is like the actual project. So you can't just like, unless you're a contributor, like not contributor, unless you're like a co-owner of this project, then you can't just directly write to the code, right? So first you need to make a copy of this project. So you do that by hitting this fork button here, which I've already forked. So oops. Okay, well, once you fork, it'll be a little loading, and then it'll be back to how this is, like this. So we just missed the loading sign, but other than that, it's the same as how it would be. Okay, so then what we can do is, let's see. Okay, somehow we got kind of behind. Okay, this is how it looked like. And then, so sorry, there's a little bit missteps. So first you make a fork with the fork button, and then you need to do this. So now it's called cloning. So cloning is pretty much you need to put this project, which is now under me. You see it's Maxime Bravo / this project name instead of before it was Princeton, right? So now you can say open with GitHub Desktop. This is just the simplest for beginners. You can obviously like copy this and do some other like more complicated stuff, but this is very simple. So you just hit open the desktop, and then this is GitHub Desktop here. And so as you see, there's this, coincidentally, there's this nice folder, which this is because I already like prepared this demo, but this is empty, right? So I'll put this in here. So we pretty much clone this into this empty folder here. And then you can just select, since we're trying to contribute to the parent, then we'll select this here. And that's just like some small setting. And then we do, so now if we look in the, here, if we, okay, well, I don't know. Well, pretty much what we want to do is first we want to make a new branch, right? And we'll make a new branch. We'll say LeetCode problem, perhaps, right? Because that's what we're trying to add. So we make a new branch. Cool. And then we can even publish the branch. But yeah, sure, we'll just publish the branch. But the branch is pretty much now we're working on a new here. So now let's a new like kind of offshoot of the original code. And that's where we're going to make our changes. And then we're going to merge the offshoot back into like the, I guess, our main, or not our main, into the original project's main branch. So that's how, we'll do that through a pull request, right? Okay, so here, oh, look at that. It's already open. Cool, cool, cool. So then we can go here, online problems, LeetCode. And so this is where we can add our contributions. So don't worry, I'm not gonna actually like, I already have the stuff pasted. So let me just, it's called medium. I kind of forgot the problem name. There we go. Median of 2 sorted arrays. So I know this is a little bit boring, but let me just fix the spacing here. Okay, median of 2 sorted arrays. Oh yeah, and then this is nice PyCharm thing. It says add the file to Git. So in the tutorials, you'll see they say like use this Git command, git add dot or something like that. But that's like, I mean, that's like great if you can do that. But this is very simple. It just asks you, would you like to add it to Git? And if you say add, then now see it's highlighted green kind of. This is specific, so I'll just stop with the specifics. But and you can see here, these are all the changes that we've made so far. And you know, there's all these .idea changes, which you know normally those are kind of like hidden, and you shouldn't like commit those to the actual project, right? So, but in this case, since we're just trying to make one change here, we can just select this. Oops, not this one. Where is it? This one. This is a file that we're trying to contribute, so we can just have a check here. But obviously, we haven't actually done the change. So let's let me copy this over here. So boom, look at that, so fast. I just wrote this whole thing. No, okay, I'm just kidding. I just pasted it. Okay, but now like say this is our contribution here. We added a solution to problem. And now, of course, this is GitHub Desktop and it tracks the changes. So you can see this is the changes. So these are all pluses right now because, you know, we just added it. But there's also minuses if you change stuff later. So now we've made the change and we do what's called a commit, which is just, you know, kind of like labeling the change with a nice message and stuff. So here, when you say this commit will, and then you say the message. So they actually suggest already create median of 2 sorted arrays. So let's just do that. Create median of 2 sorted arrays .py. And then, yeah, so this is pretty much it. So now we can commit this to our local LeetCode problem. And by the way, I noticed that if you like don't really know like what GitHub is or Git, then this might be actually all these terms may be kind of confusing. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. I guess for those who are like kind of, there's some specific audience that this will be useful for, but I guess even if not, after you go and learn those basic terms, then you can come back and see this if you want to see an example. But there's plenty of examples that are probably better than this. But anyways, let's continue. So we commit to our local LeetCode problem branch. And now we can push it. So right now everything's happening on our computer, but as soon as I hit this push button, there we go, finished. Now if we go back to, now it's in the cloud, kind of, it's a cloud copy. Wow, it already recognized. So if we go, this is remember, this is our repository here, and now we see we have. Okay, you can ignore that. I kind of forgot to delete my fork before doing this demo, but that's okay. Just ignore this one. See 12 hours ago. So this is our LeetCode problem branch. And in this branch, we can see, you know, we made our change here. It's the same as what we just saw. LeetCode. There we go. So this is our change here. Obviously, you can see it's here. But this is still our copy. We're not getting any credit for anything for this because this is just us working on our own copy, right? But now we need to do what's called a pull request. So if we go to, yeah, so it even like github.com is kind of smart. It like sees that we made a push and we probably want to do a pull request, right? So we can just hit this nice button here. Yeah, so then we say, okay, yeah, so this is our branch. We need to merge it into, so notice this is the original base repository and it's Princeton. You know, this is the base repository. So we're trying to merge our changes from LeetCode. You're just adding a Python file. So it shouldn't be like, it shouldn't be any problems. So we're just adding something. So there shouldn't be any conflicts. Yeah, so then we just have a message, which pretty much, I think this is probably okay. And then when we say, yeah, we can see the changes here. And then we pretty much, let me see, I think, yeah, first, so we can just create a pull request here. And there we go. Okay, we have a pull request. And now we can link, where can we link it? Let me see. I'm just seeing how to link this, but where did it go? Let me see. Oh, linked issues right here. So let me just give me a sec here. Let me just I thought you could like link it here. You know how to link it to an issue. I mean, I think you don't really need to have it linked to an issue I think it'll still be fine as long as it's just kind of nice to have it to an issue. Yeah, so this is where I would need to go and look up how to link it to an issue. And that's what you guys should be doing too. But pretty much, this is pretty much actually all you need. You don't need to link it to an issue. That's just kind of an extra thing, which I'll leave that as homework for you guys to find out. But pretty much, yeah, so now what we do is we just wait until the creator of, or the maintainer of this, which is this Princeton person, either accepts it or denies it. But once it's accepted, then yeah, it'll be added to our count of pull requests and it'll be all good. So that's pretty much my demo here.
Cool. Thanks, Maxime.
Well, thank you guys for coming for the welcome session, and we'll see you next session.